Good morning, all my dear students of class 9. Here, when we start the chapter, this climate chapter number 4, the first thing that we should know that what is climate. And in order to know what is climate, you should be able to differentiate what is weather. So how these both are different from each other. Actually, climate is atmospheric conditions for a very long period of time over a large area, like a whole continent or a subcontinent like India, including Pakistan, Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, Myanmar. So, that part, a huge part of an area, when suffers or when is conditioned to get one particular type of a atmospheric condition for years and years and years, then it becomes the climate of that area. So, Indian subcontinent has a monsoon type of climate. Okay. Whereas some other countries may have tropical type of climate, equatorial type of climate, subtropical type of climate. So we are having monsoon type of climate. My cursor vanishes somewhere. Yeah. And whereas weather is what, both of the determinants for both are same. That is the humidity, the amount of sunlight, precipitation, the determinants which determine the climate or the weather are the same. But you get weather forecast in the newspaper. So that is weather. That is a small day-to-day changes within that broad climatic condition of that area. India has a monsoon type of climate, but we have so many seasons into it. Okay, so that seasons all come under climate. But weather, that it's raining 2 or 3 days and suddenly there is a sunshine, it stops raining for 2 days. So then the weather changes. It's sunny today. Okay, it's bright today, or it's windy today. It's pleasant today. These are the words which refer the weather condition. The weather condition are the same atmospheric condition, but it changes for a day or for from few hours to few days, and it is persistent to a small area, not a large area. It will change from region to region. So that is weather. So weather is a shorter term than the climate. Weather is sudden and is unexpected. Okay, we don't expect it, and it comes to us, giving us a surprise. Whereas climate is expected, we are having rains, we'll get fed up of it and we want, oh, when will these rains end? When the summer season is there, we'll say, okay, it's too much of heat. When will the rain come? So we expect the seasons to come within the climate of an area. So climate is expected, weather is unexpected. Weather changes are expressed as this I have told you. Clear sky, today it's sunny day, today it's cloudy, it's windy, today the day is very pleasant. So these are some terms which are used to express the short-term weather changes. And if you talk about long term, India is having a monsoon type. When we say India has a monsoon type of climate, children, it does not only refer to the rains. Monsoon means that all the other seasons which are following because of monsoons. The rain comes, when after the summers, the rain comes. And rain comes because there is a low pressure condition develops due to heat, intense heat of the summer season. Due to the revolution of the earth around the sun, the position earth reaches is such that India receives huge amount of heat during that summer season, and it becomes a low pressure area. When it becomes a low pressure area, it attracts wind from the surrounding, because in the surrounding we have sea. So when the winds come from over the sea, we get rainfall. So after the summers we have rain. After the rain stops, because the land becomes colder, so land becomes a high pressure area, so the rain stops and the wind starts blowing from the land to the sea. Because the winds blow from land to sea, they are dry winds, so the monsoons stop. And that is how we get winters, and then again we get summers due to the revolution of the earth and due to the specific conditions that India has. So that is monsoon type of climate. All the seasons comes under monsoon type of climate. It ensures the rhythmic cycle of seasons into India. So hope you have understood the difference between these two broad terms, weather and climate. The next question number 2 is that what are the regional variations in the climatic condition of India? Explain them with the help of suitable examples. So first of all, understand the question. What is the demand of the question? The question is asking that, okay, it's fine that you are saying that India has a monsoon type of climate. So we can assume that all parts of India is receiving one type of climate. Okay, fine. But tell us the regional variation from small region to one region to another region, from Assam to Gujarat, from Kashmir to Kanyakumari. There are variations in this broad categorized climatic condition which you call monsoon type of climate. So what are these variations? Please explain them with the help of suitable examples. So this questions actually ask a child that you know that what is climate and what are the variations that can be acceptable in a broad category of climate. So you need to broaden your horizon to understand that what is actually climate. So this question also asks, examiner asks a child that do you understand what is climate? These regional variations, what are these regional variations? So here we will, with the help of examples from India, we are going to answer this question. Okay. So India has a monsoon type of climate, but there are perceptible variations. Perceptible means the variations that we can see, that we can perceive in climatic conditions from region to region. This is not the example, this is the initial sentence. Okay. Yes, it's correct that we have monsoon type of climate, but we are under this climatic conditions, we have seen that there are variations from one region to another. For example, when we go to Rajasthan desert during summers, we find that the temperature reaches 50 degrees Celsius. And at the same time, if we go to Pahalgam in Jammu Kashmir, we will find that the temperature is just 20 degrees Celsius, pleasant and cool. So this is the regional variation within that climate of India. Second example, that there is a place called Dras in Ladakh, okay, where the temperature during the winter may go minus 45 degrees Celsius. That is the coldest place in India. Okay, it may go minus 45 degrees Celsius on a winter night. Okay, winter night, whereas it is 22 degrees Celsius in Thiruvananthapuram at the same time. If you go to the winter night in Thiruvananthapuram, you will find the temperature is 22 degrees Celsius. There is no cold at all. It's very pleasant. So that is a regional variation. So whenever you are that when we are writing about the variation, regional variation, you know, we always have to give the difference between the two areas. So one sentence will contain two areas, temperature or rainfall or whatever. Now we come to the third. The in Himalayas, the precipitation is in the form of snowfall, whereas in the rest of the country receives rainfall. So very simple and easy. The diurnal range of temperature. Diurnal means beta daily, and range means the highest and the lowest, difference between the highest and the lowest. So you understand diurnal range, like in Rajasthan, you find that within one day only, the night temperatures are very cold and the day temperatures are very, very hot, because sand is a very dense material. They are pieces of rock, and they are able to capture the heat at a very fast. So when the night comes, when the sun goes away, when there is a moon in the sky, when the sunshine is not shining, at that time the sand gets colder very quickly. They need, every night they need quilts, kambal जिसे कहते हैं, ठीक है? So it's that cold in Rajasthan all night, but in the day it's very, very hot. So that is the diurnal range of temperature is high. So you understand that sentence, okay? As compared to coastal regions. But when we go to Thiruvananthapuram or coastal regions of Tamil Nadu, Chennai or Visakhapatnam, you find that neither the winters are very strong nor the summers are. Every day, even the night temperatures and day temperatures, there is very less difference. That is what is meant by this sentence, that the diurnal range of temperature is high in Rajasthan as compared to the coastal regions. Most of India receives rainfall from June to September, whereas Tamil Nadu coast receives rainfall in the months of October, November, because of the high Western Ghat mountains. The Western Ghat mountains are so high that the winds which are coming from the oceans, Indian Ocean, from the southwest direction, does not cross the mountain and cause rainfall in the Kerala part only, and could not go beyond that mountain. So Tamil Nadu area remains a dry area during the coming during the onset of the monsoon, when the monsoons are coming from June to September. But then when the monsoons are coming back, when they are retreating, during that time, when the winds are from land to sea, during that time, due to the shape of Tamil Nadu, okay, Tamil Nadu, there is a bulge, and then the winds get moisture from the oceans, and that is how Tamil Nadu coast receives rainfall, and that too during the... Whose mic is on? Tamil Nadu coast receives in the month of October and November. This everything I have taught you, children, and that is why I am not going too much in detail with diagrams, because that we have already done, and in the coming video, in the coming slides also, I'll be doing it. Annual precipitation varies, means rainfall. Annual rainfall is too high in Meghalaya, Kerala, 400 centimeters, whereas if you go to Western Rajasthan, you find it is only 10 centimeters, because that is why it is a desert area. So these are some of the examples which completes this answer, regional variation in the climatic condition of India. Now we go to the third question, which is explain different factors affecting the climate of a place. I would like to make myself very clear. You also don't get confused. In this section, there are two questions. One question is asking you what are the different factors affecting climate of any place, okay, in the world. But after this, there's another question which is asking you with very specific instructions that explain different factors affecting the climate of India. So both the answers are different, and don't get confused in the exams or whenever somebody asks you or you are telling somebody, don't get confused. Be very clear that factors affecting climate of a place, they are general. And when we're talking about India in specific, we are talking about the specific factors. Okay, so here we come to the answer. So latitude, where a place is located on the earth. How does latitude affect, see here it's written. The amount of solar energy received varies due to the curvature of the earth. The earth is curved, okay? You can see the round shape of the earth. So the heat that we get from the sun, it has a different effect on different areas, because as we go above the equator or below the equator, what happens? The heat received is less. The amount of heat received by the earth will always be less due to the curve and due to the distance covered by the sun's heat. Here, toward the polar areas, the distance also increases and the curve increases. So wherever a place is located on the globe, it tells that what kind of a temperature that place will have. If a place is near to the equator, which means that it must be having equatorial climate, hot climate, very humid. If we go away from the equator, it means the place will be colder. So wherever a place will be located, you will be able to know that what kind of a climate that area may have. But this is just one determinant which will affect the climate of a place. What about the other determinant? It's not alone latitude. Okay, if a place is located here somewhere in the polar areas, but from here our ocean current is passing, which is a warm ocean current, then that area cannot be cold, ice cold. That warm ocean current, its influence will be there, and that area cannot be cold. So there are many other reasons. You cannot decide on one factor that what can be the climate of any place. So first of all, the first thing that we need to observe about a place is that where it is located latitudinally on the globe. So that will determine the temperature of that, but not alone latitude. What is the second point? You have to draw the diagrams also, children, okay? The second point is that as we move away from the surface of the earth, we are talking about altitude, okay? This is altitude, which means height of a place above the sea level. If a place is in a mountainous area, of a hilly area, naturally that place is going to have a colder climate, because the temperature decreases as we go higher above in the atmosphere. Why? Because the atmosphere, the molecules in the atmosphere, in the air, they become very less. And that is why they could not capture the heat of the sun, because the surface is the densest part, hard and dense part. So most of the solar energy is absorbed by the surface of the earth, and then when the surface of the earth becomes heated, then the heat is radiated back in the atmosphere, and through that heat the other layers of the atmosphere gets heated, like temperature decreases. Can you see from here? Paramount means the area where no plants can be grown, that cold it is. Okay, then here glaciers, always the ice will be deposited. 2000 meters it will be very very cold. Okay, here it will be temperate, and this here it will be warm. So a place, see children, you need no need to write this, but I have given here this so that you understand properly. Okay, this is the answer. The first point is the answer. Similarly, the previous one, the first point is important to answer. In for the answers first point, the second point is for you to understand the why, because always a question arises in our mind, that why. So that why should remain in your mind, in your understanding part. Higher above in the atmosphere, the temperature decreases. Therefore, if a place is in the plain area, it will have a higher temperature. If a plane is in the higher altitude, mountain area, hilly area, it will have a lower temperature. It will be colder. It's as simple as that. So that the term altitude, many children do not, they confuse with latitude and altitude. Altitude is height above the sea level. Mountain, hill, plateau, plain. And latitude is where it is situated, near the equator, away from the equator, in the polar areas, where. That is latitude. Now, third point in that answer is the pressure and the wind conditions. Okay, the pressure and the wind conditions depend upon the latitude and the altitude, because the latitude and the altitude determines that whether that area is a cold area or whether that area is a hot area. Because a cold area will always have a high pressure. Why? Because the cold air is heavy and it accumulates near the surface, whereas hot air is light and it goes up in the sky. So therefore it will not exert pressure on the land. So therefore it becomes a low pressure area. Low pressure and high pressure means the pressure exerted by the air on the surface of the earth. So when the hot air is light, because you have always observed that through a chimney, the hot the smoke that arises, it always go higher above, because smoke is warm. Similarly, when during the summer season, or the area is equatorial area is having very hot climate, then the air will go high above. It becomes light, it rises high. So therefore, and the wind always blows from the high pressure to low pressure, because what happens, here a vacuum is created because air molecules are very less over here. Whereas here, due to depression, the air gets saturated. Saturated means it cannot hold any more molecules of air here. So therefore, it needs to rush away to some other place where it will get space. So therefore, the air always moves from high pressure to low pressure. And high pressure means a cold area and low pressure means a hot area. So air always moves from colder regions towards the warmer regions. And that is the movement of the air. And pressure and the wind condition, they change the climate of an area. They change the temperature and the rainfall conditions of that area. And hence they are responsible for determining the climate of an area. That is what happens in India. We get monsoons because of this only. Yeah.
Ma'am, India has a monsoon type of climate.
Right.
Ma'am,
Right.
so maybe there are some maybe there are some other kinds of climate.
Yeah, that's what I told in the beginning. There are equatorial climate, you have polar climate, you have subtropical climate, you have tropical climate. Okay.
Ma'am, so all these conditions
Hmm.
or all these factors
Hmm.
affect the particular climate
No.
or they
See,
constitute it.
equatorial climate means a different type of a climate, where near the places of the equator, very humid, very hot, okay, a lot of rainfall. So they are equatorial climate. So every climate has, you have need to understand every climate. Okay, like Canada and all, they are very very cold, isn't it? There's snowfall, it's very cold, and summers is when the trees started flowering and all, that they are called summers, which is very pleasant and cold itself. The sun shines a little. So every place has a different type of climate. Okay, we have a monsoon type of climate and we are living into it, so there is no need to make it understand. Even then, this chapter whole contains that only. Okay, because we have to understand the technicalities of it. Okay, why it is so. Okay. Now see, the winds are, it's not raining here, it's raining some other part, some other areas are getting flooded. So that is Not because of the climate. Okay, it always rains like this, heavy, strong during the months of August and September 15th. It should rain, but because the humans have settled in the lower regions, therefore they are facing floods and all. Otherwise, normally speaking, naturally speaking, these rains are very good, very healthy for the growth of crops and all. We have created that trouble of floods because we have constructed houses and population has grown into areas where it should not go. So speaking about pressure and wind condition, hope you understand, children, that pressure and the wind conditions affect the temperature and the rainfall of an area, and where you will have low pressure, where you can have high pressure. You can have high pressure in colder regions and low pressure in warmer regions. Air molecules are less in low pressure area. Air molecules are dense in high pressure area. Yeah, here we go. Next, fourth point of that same answer, factors affecting climate of a place. Distance from the sea. Distance from the sea determines the continentality of a place. Continentality means that how far a place is from the sea. If a place is located in the coastal regions near the sea, then you know what happens during the daytime, because the land becomes hot quickly, because land is denser than the water. Therefore, when the heat falls on both the surfaces, it is the land which becomes hot earlier. So here a low pressure develops. So winds come from the sea to the land, from the high pressure to low pressure area during the day, but vice versa during the night. Because again, what happened during the night? The cold, there is no sun, so the land becomes colder faster as compared to the ocean, water body, because land is more dense. So the winds blow. So this becomes land becomes a high pressure area and sea becomes a low pressure area. So winds blow from the land to the sea. So this happens day and night, every day and night in the coastal areas. So because of this, the temperature is regulated. Okay, they have neither very hot summers nor very cold winters. So they have a moderate climatic conditions. But the areas, if you imagine the map of India, if we go towards Delhi, Uttar Pradesh, then towards Rajasthan, Punjab, Haryana, these areas are landlocked areas, which means they have no access towards the sea. When the area don't have an access towards the sea, then if the area do not have an access towards the sea, means that it will have an extreme climate. It can be a cold desert also. It can be a hot desert also. It can be like Uttar Pradesh and all, where the winters are very, very severe and the summers are also extremely severe. Okay. Okay. So that is meant by distance from the sea. That is how the sea influences the climate of a place. So when we are watching about the climate of a place, you have to look into all these determinants, not only latitude and altitude, but also distance from the sea and the pressure and the wind conditions and the ocean currents also. Ocean currents, you know, I've explained in my videos everything, children. This is just a revision part. So you see here that ocean currents are the streams which are flowing in the ocean, but the streams which go from the equator, this is the equator portion, okay, this is the equatorial region. From the equator, the streams which are going, they will be hot because here the waters are hot. But the streams which are coming from the polar areas will be cold. Cold are marked with the blue arrow and the hot are marked with the red arrow. So see, if the winds blow onshore, if the winds will come from the sea towards the land, in that case, this will influence the area. Suppose this is a hot wind, Peruvian hot current. Okay, this is the Peruvian current which passes through the Peru. This here is a country called Peru. So this will give a, if the winds are from the land to the sea, sorry, this is a cold current. This is a cold current. So this Peru is a cold country, ice cold country, because the winds blow from the land towards the sea, and hence from the sea towards the land, and hence this area becomes very, very cold. But if we talk about some other country which is in the northern latitude, like here, okay, if the winds will blow from the land to the sea, although this is away from the equator, it is near the polar areas, but if the winds will blow from the sea towards the land. If the winds will be onshore, then this area will not be ice cold, whereas it will be
Ma'am, what about India?
India. Yeah. India, no ocean currents passes by. Okay. These are the
Ma'am, what will happen when warm current and cold current met at one place?
meet. There is lot of evaporation, lot of water vapor and condensation and heavy rainfall, and that areas are very good breeding grounds for the fish. They good for the growth of plankton. Plankton is a material which the fish like a lot. So therefore, they that are good breeding ground for the fish wherever both the currents meet. Good question asked. Yeah, the warm and the cold ocean currents tend to make a place warmer or colder if the in the coastal areas, especially if the winds are onshore. So condition is two. The area should be a coastal area and the wind should be blowing
Ma'am,
onshore. In that case, the area will be affected by that wind. Yeah.
ma'am, if no warm current or no cold current,
Hmm.
ma'am, so what would be the climate of the particular country?
No, this is just one determinant, bacha. Okay, even if the cold current is passing and if the winds are not from the ocean towards the land, then how does it matter? Let it pass. It may not always affect the coastal area. That is why it's written here. If the winds are onshore, and if you're talking about that, if like India, you know, no other currents are there. So ocean current is a different thing, and the normal winds are different thing. Ocean currents are these streams within the river, within the ocean, which are flowing in a specific direction. They flow always due to the rotation revolution of the earth, due to many other factors, and they are constant. They are always there. They will never change their direction or they will never vanish. So therefore, like the tectonic plate movement, like the plates are moving into definite direction, similarly, the currents are also moving in a definite direction throughout. These are currents because they have a different salinity, different density. The water is having a different density and different temperature, and hence they flow in a like a river in the ocean. They have a different speed. They have a different direction. So that is about the ocean current. Okay. If it is not passing along any country, it doesn't matter. The surface winds will take care. Na? If the winds are from the land to the sea, the area will be dry. Like all the Saudi Arabia, Sahara Desert, they are all dry because the winds are here from land to sea. And in India, because during the monsoon season, winds blow from the sea to the land. So here it is a wet country. Okay, here. So that is the difference. Ocean currents will affect the area only if that area is having the onshore winds and if it is a coastal area. Next, shall I proceed?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
This is the last
Yes.
point. Relief feature also affect the climate of a place. First of all, we read the altitude, but here altitude also affects in another way. See, if a high mountain lie in the path of the rain-bearing winds, if the winds are coming from the sea and they are carrying a lot of moisture and water vapor, then what happens? You know, the height of the mountains are so high, like the Himalayas in India. They do not allow the clouds to cross. The cloud should have been made here only. Okay, the clouds cannot cross the mountain and the complete precipitation takes place here only. Condensation takes place here because when the water vapor reaches a higher altitude where the temperature is low, then the cloud formation takes place and condensation, and after that it rains in this side only. So half of the part of the mountain will be green. This is called the windward side of the mountain, and the other opposite part of the mountain, which is called the leeward side of the mountain, remains a rain shadow area and a dry winds blow over there. This is the case what happens with Tamil Nadu children. The west, suppose this is the Western Ghat mountain, Nilgiri Hills and Cardamom Hills in the south. This side it is Kerala and this side it is Tamil Nadu. The winds, that the monsoon winds come from the Indian Ocean from the southwest direction. They cause rainfall in Kerala. Okay, and
Ma'am, so are the
Tamil Nadu
clouds
becomes a
smashed over the surface of mountains?
what, bacha? Again?
Ma'am, are the cloud
Hmm?
smashed over the surface of the mountains?
Yeah. If you go to hilly
Ma'am,
areas,
so
you know,
do
from
they
your
get burst?
You can catch them. You can hold them also. Have you ever visited a hill station? They are like cotton. If you just hold them, na, the water will come into your hands. Okay, they're like that. Now we come to yeah. So these mountains, they act as a barrier, divide the temperature of two areas. So that how important the relief features are, especially the high mountains. Okay. So when we talk about Himalayas, we'll say that this side is India, this side is China. Then China is a cold desert. That side Tibet and all, it is a cold desert. And this side we are having a monsoon type of climate, green, rainy, enough water is there. So it divides the climate of two areas. If the mountain would not have been there, the winds, throughout the year, the winds blow from the northern India towards the South India. That is from land to sea. So if the winds have been blowing from the Central Asia towards India, then India would also be in a cold desert. So that is how important the relief features are in determining the climate of any place. It's interesting. You can study more also through the internet if you find it interesting. Okay. So this is about that question, children. There are 6 points, and these 6 points are dealing with the factors affecting the climate of any place. What's the time? Now I'll deal with the another one.
Ma'am.
Yeah.
Ma'am.
Yeah, time is going to up. I'll make it fast, children, because this is also coming in your test. Okay. And since I've already explained everything, factors affecting climate of India means latitude. India is in such a position that Tropic of Cancer passes through the center of it, which divides the country into two climatic zones. Okay. Southern half is having a tropical climate. Northern half is having a subtropical climate. Understood? No other thing to understand here. Latitudinal location of India is such. Next, altitudinal location. We find that India is a country which has these are plateaus also. We have the coastal areas also. These are plains. Okay. And then we have very high mountains also. We have the mountains of Western Ghats and Eastern Ghats also. The brown color portions are very high areas. See, these are very high hills. They do not allow the monsoon winds to cross. So therefore, Tamil Nadu remains a rain shadow area. Similarly, this area is also a dry area because these are again Western Ghat mountains are high over here. They are not very high, but yes, they are high. So they obstruct the winds to some extent, to 50%, 60% they extend. But as you go towards the northern side, you will find that the hills have become lower. So from here, the monsoon enters. Here you have, these are the Aravali Hills mountains. So Aravali Hill mountain also do not allow the winds from this side to cross. Therefore, it is a desert. And from this side, they lie parallel. So the rain-bearing winds, when they come, they cannot cause any rainfall because they just pass by. And because here you have the Himalayas, so here they enter and then they are bound to go towards the left. Here also, because it is not in India, so they're not marked because here also all the Himalayan high mountains are there. So these high mountains, they obstruct. So you can see that the higher areas will have a cold climate, the plain areas will have extreme climate, the coastal areas will have moderate climate. So this way, the climate differs from the altitude. And in India, we have so many kinds of variations in the altitude. We have altitudinal variations. Third point is regarding the pressure and the surface wind that I have been talking to you from many days, and this chapter has been about that only. This is the wind direction during the monsoons, okay, from the sea to the land. But actually it is from land to sea. Throughout the year, the winds blow from the land to the sea. You can see here, sorry, yeah. The winds are blowing from the land to the sea, so India will have a dry climate. It will not have rain and all. But during here you see planetary winds, they move from this latitude towards the equator. India lies here in between. Okay, so therefore in India also the winds are from the land towards the sea throughout the year. But during the monsoons, the land becomes so heated up, it becomes a low pressure area that all the wind just reverses their direction and they start moving. They crosses the equator. These winds which are blowing here, children, these winds, they cross the equator and they blow towards India. And that is how there is a complete reversal in the direction of the wind from the northeast towards the southwest. So that is what is written over here. And this is also, describe the mechanism of monsoon. This will be the answer. Upper air circulation and jet streams, they are again another kind of a wind which blow at a very high altitude, that is 12,000 meters above the sea level, and they are very high speed winds. They blow at 110 to 184 kilometers per hour, and these are divided into two: westerly jet streams and easterly jet streams. Westerly jet streams, here it's explained, children. See, these kind of a jet streams, they are narrow belt of high speed winds which blow all over the globe. But since these two are affecting India's climate, so during the summer season, these winds are coming from over the Mediterranean Sea, and they come to India and they cause winter rainfall in the north and northwestern part of India, because they are originating from over the Mediterranean Sea. But during the summers, what happened, you get this shadowed line. You can see this is the page from a book only. The winds come from here, from the Indian Ocean, and they cause rainfall in this southern part of India. Always Amphan has come now. Now October, November, again you will see there will be cyclones and rainfall in this area, because the heat belt which is here during the summers, it shifts from here towards the Bay of Bengal, because the earth is rotating, but the atmosphere is not rotating. Earth rotates, it moves forward, and the atmosphere, it shifts from the northern hemisphere, from this northern India towards the Bay of Bengal. So the low pressure condition moves here. Therefore, the cyclone starts coming here by the month of October and November. This is what about. So we get cyclones. So from the Mediterranean Sea, from the westerly jet stream, we get the rainfall, which is very good during the winters over the northwestern India, which is good for the growth of the rabi crops. But rainfall is light. They do not cause havoc or disturbance. Whereas here, eastern cyclonic disturbance, they cause lot of destruction. They hit the eastern coast, and it comes in the months of October and November. They are very strong gusty winds, and they originate in the low pressure area. Tropical depression means a highly low pressure area in the Andaman Sea, and therefore it attracts all the winds from the surrounding area. Cumulonimbus clouds are formed, and those clouds are very heighted, and they cause huge amount of rainfall with destruction. So that is what is the end of it, children. And now I'll stop sharing and hope you will give me the test. Everybody will get full marks in this test. Read your textbook nicely.
Ma'am, if some place is surrounded with mountains, so how it gets wind?
Surrounded by mountain means there has to be it. You know the shape of a mountain, na? It starts from some point.
Yes, ma'am.
Isn't it? So it creates valleys. It's not like a wall that the wind cannot come. Okay. So there are spaces, the valleys are there. You can build roads and all, people can move, cultivation can be done. So it's not the kind of a region where wind cannot come. And wind is a upper air thing. Okay.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay. Any doubts, anybody?